Hi everyone, welcome to Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute little bunny with a pretty little dress. This tutorial is minimum sew as we are going to be working the body, the head and the legs all in one go. So you are only required to sew the ears and the bow on top. Now to make this bunny you're going to need plush yarn in 2 different colors. I'm going to be working this with a 5.5mm crochet hook. In addition to this, you're going to need a pair of scissors, stitch marker, 14mm security eyes, and some fiber fill. So make sure you've got all of those components. Now before we start, if you enjoyed watching my tutorial, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. We're going to start off with the arms, and for this, let's grab our main color for the bunny and work a slip knot using whatever method you prefer. We're going to chain 2. Now this method is an alternative to magic ring. If you prefer working with magic ring, then skip this and work round 1 straight into magic ring. But for this method, you're going to skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Pull up a loop from there, yarn over and pull through both loops in one go. That's my first single crochet. I'm going to be working 6 of them all together. Here's second, third, fourth, fifth and final one, number 6. Once you've done your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. And once we've done that, you're going to, this brings our stitches nice and close together. Slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round, pull up a loop from there, work our first single crochet of round 2 there. Now I'm going back into that same stitch to work 1 more single crochet. Now when you do that, this is called an increase, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. In this round, you're going to be working 6 increases. So here's my second increase, third increase, fourth increase, fifth, and final one, increase number 6. Now this brings your stitch count to 12. From here you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, continue working in the spiral. So to keep a stitch count, I'm going to start using my stitch marker. This identifies the start of my round. From here you're going to follow this on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. Let's go ahead and work this together. So there are 12 single crochets in a row. And there we go. Once you have your 12 single crochets, this finishes your round. Going to start the next round. We're going to begin by working a decrease first. For this, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops in one go. You're going to put your stitch marker in place. And we're going to follow this decrease on with 8 single crochets in a row. So here's my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and here's my 8th. Follow this on with a decrease again. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches. That's 1 and 2. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops in one go. Now I'm going to turn this the right way around and continue working the next round. And let's start the next round by working a decrease in our first stitch. And we're going to put the stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with 6 single crochets this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's finish this round off by working a decrease. Pull up a loop from both of these stitches, the last 2 left, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops that are on your hook. From here, you're going to start round 6 by working a single crochet in every one of these stitches. So here's my 2. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And once you worked your 8 single crochets, you are going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch, because we're going to change the color of the arm over to the dress color. So pull this through and make this go through the loop that was already on your hook. And once we have done that, let's go ahead and grab our scissors and snip this yarn off. And let's pull this out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. We're going to stuff this part up with some fiber fill. And there we go. And now we're going to grab the color of the dress. I've chosen this dark purple color. I'm going to attach down any of the stitches. Now I would suggest for you to avoid this area, because if you do that, you're going to see a sudden change in color. So I always tend to leave a few stitches and then attach the new color on. You're going to do this by pulling up a loop like this, and we're going to chain 1. Now I can pull this down. And let's begin by working a single crochet. So that's my first single crochet here. Going to follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 8 single crochets in a row. Once we have done that, you're going to follow the same method 5 times all together to have 5 rounds of single crochet. So go ahead, work 5 rounds of single crochet in this purple color, and then meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 8. Now we're going to fold this arm flat on the top and work 4 single crochets across the top. So to do this, you're going to first of all make sure that you've stuffed the arm up with fiber fill up to this point and leave this flat, so it's nice and flat. Slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to go through the back as well. Pull up a loop and work your first single crochet. Slip your hook in the next stitch. Again, guide it to go through the back. If I pull these apart, you will see I've gone through the front and back. Work the second single crochet, third, and final, number 4. And once you've done the 4 single crochets across the top, chain 1, and we can now go ahead and snip this yarn off as well. Pull it out of the stitch and pull this to make it secure in place. And there we go. Now this arm should curve a little bit inwards like this. So if I hold it on the side, you can see it curves a little bit because of the decreases that we've worked. And you're going to now follow the same instructions one more time to create another one of these. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Now onto the legs, and for this let's go ahead and start by working a slip knot and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Skip your first chain and work an increase in the second chain from your hook. After your increase, you're going to work 3 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2, and 3. And from here, we're going to be working 2 increases in the last stitch, which is this one. Slip your hook in there and work 4 single crochets, which is 2 increases. And once you've worked your 4 single crochets here, It will allow you to turn the corner and start working at the base of these stitches. And to do this, you're going to slip your hook at the base of the stitches that you've already worked in and work a single crochet there. So 3 in a row. Here's my second and third. And now we're back to the last stitch of this round altogether. Slip your hook in there and work an increase. So 1, 2. And this completes your round. You should have a total of 14 stitches. From here, you're going to slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round. Pull up a loop from there and work your first single crochet of round 2. Now from here, I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my rounds. And follow this single crochet on with an increase. So 2 single crochets in that next stitch. Now this combination, I'm going to be working every place where we worked an increase. So let's work on this together. 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3. And that same combination. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase. We're going to do that twice. And one more time. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase. Now we're going to be working 3 single crochets in a row. And now you have your last 2 stitches left here, and we're going to have the same combination again. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase. This brings your stitch count to 18. From here, you're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 18 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method one more time to have 2 rounds of just single crochets. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, stitch count is still 18. We're now going to first make this turn the right way around and continue working our stitches. For this round, you're going to work 3 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2, and 3. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. And we're going to follow this on with 6 decreases. Now to work a decrease, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. I'm going to work 6 of those in a row. Here's my second, third, fourth, fifth, and here's the 6th one. Once you worked your 6 decreases, you should have 3 stitches left, and you're going to work a single crochet in every one of those. So that's 1, 2, and 3. This brings your stitch count to 12. From here, we're going to start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row again. That's 1, 2, 3, and follow this on with 3 decreases this time. 1, 2, and here's my 3rd decrease. And you should again have 3 stitches left, and we're going to work a single crochet in all 3 of those stitches. So that's my first single crochet, second single crochet, and the 3rd one right here. Now this brings your stitch count to 9. Let's take the stitch marker off from here. Going to take a minute and stuff this foot up with some fiber fill, and from there you're going to continue working the top of the leg to gain in some length. So let's stuff this up very nice and well, like this. And from here you're going to start the next round by working a single crochet. Slip this stitch marker in place. Follow this on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. There should be a total of 9 single crochets in a row. After finishing this round, you're going to follow the same method 4 more times to have 5 rounds of single crochet all together. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 9. Now we are going to close this top off, but before you do that, stuff this part of leg up with some fiber fill as well. So let's go ahead and do that first. And once we have filled it up all the way to the top, we are going to make sure that the stitch that you finished with is on the corner here. So if I face the leg sideways towards me, so that's the front facing the side profile, I would like this stitch to be right here. So I think I need to work 1 more single crochet so that it's in the center. Now I'm going to fold the top flat and work a few stitches across the top. Slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to come out from the back as well. So if I pull these apart, you can see I've made my way through the front and the back in one go. Pull up a loop from there and work your first single crochet. Slip your hook in the next stitch and go from the stitch at the back. So pull this apart. Just like this, we're going to work 4 single crochets across the top here. Here's my third. And the final one, number 4. And once you've done your 4 single crochets, you're going to chain 1. And let's go ahead and snip this yarn off. Pull this out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. And there we have it. That's one of the legs completed. You're going to follow the same instructions to make another one of these, like this. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Now onto the ears, and for this, let's go ahead and start by working a slip knot. And chain 2. That's 1, 2. Skip your first chain and work 5 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's my 5th one. Once you have your 5 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches and start working in a spiral. Going to start round 2 by slipping your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and work an increase in there. In round 2, you're going to be working 5 increases in a row. So here's my second increase. Third increase, 4th, and my final one, increase number 5. Now this brings your stitch count to 10. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, and from here I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my round. Going to follow this single crochet on with 3 more to make the total count to 4. So here's my second, third, and 4th. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch. And you're going to follow this follow this combination and repeat it 1 more time. So that's 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, followed on with an increase. This brings our stitch count to 12. I'm going to turn this the right way around so that the front of the stitches is facing us. Let's continue working and start the next round with a single crochet in the first stitch, and we're going to be working 5 single crochets in a row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed on with an increase in the next stitch. And we're going to follow this combination one more time. So repeat it here. That's again 5 single crochets in a row, 2, 3, 4 and 5, followed on with another increase. Now this brings our stitch count to 14. We're going to have our next few rounds very similar to this. We are going to continue working together on those. So next round is going to have 6 single crochets followed on with an increase. So that's first single crochet here, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, followed on with an increase, and repeat that one more time. And here's my last increase of this round. And this brings our stitch count to 16. Now starting the next round with 7 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, followed on with an increase and repeated one more time. And here's my increase. Now this brings your stitch count to 18. And we're going to follow the same method, and we're going to be working the next 2 rounds exactly the same way. So the next round is going to be 8 single crochets. Here's my second stitch marker back in place. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, followed on with an increase, and repeat it one more time. Six, 7, 8 and increase in the next stitch. And in the next round we're going to have 9 single crochets followed on with an increase. So let's start our round exactly in the same way by inserting the stitch marker in the right place. That's 9 single crochets followed on with an increase. And let's repeat that one more time. So 9 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and increase in the last stitch here. Now this brings our stitch count to 22. Let's take the stitch marker off and start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch and putting the stitch marker back in place. You're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 22 single crochets in a row. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should still be 22. Let's start the next round by working 9 single crochets in a row. That's my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and here's my ninth one. We're going to follow this on with a decrease. So slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. And that's how you work a decrease. Going to be repeating that combination one more time. So that's 9 single crochets, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. You should have 2 stitches left in the end, and you're going to work a decrease, pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops in one go. Now from here you're going to start the next round and work 8 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, followed on with a decrease. Repeat it one more time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, followed on with a decrease. And just like this, you're going to be working next 4 rounds. So we're going to have 7 single crochets followed on with a decrease, then 6 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and so on until you get to round 15, which is 4 single crochets followed on with a decrease. So follow exactly the same method. Each combination needs to be repeated twice. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. I'll leave the instructions up on the screen for you. After finishing round 15, your stitch count should be 10. Now we're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. You should need 10 single crochets in a row to finish this round. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method one more time to have 2 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead and work that, then meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 10. Now we're going to work the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row, second and third. Follow this on with a decrease, and we're going to work this one more time. So that's 3 single crochets, followed on with another decrease, and this finishes this round, and you should have 8 single crochets in a row. From here you're going to work 4 single crochets across the top to close this off. So start the next row by slipping your hook in the next stitch, guide it to come out from the back, yarn over, pull this through, yarn over and pull through both of the loops. That's your first single crochet. Slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to come out through the stitch at the back. Here's your second, and here's my third and my final one, fourth one. And once you've got your 4 single crochets across the top, you're going to chain 1 and snip this yarn off, leaving a long tail, and pull this out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. Now there we go, this is one of the ears complete. You're going to follow the same instructions one more time to make another one of these. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Now onto the body, and for this we're going to start off by working a slip knot and chain 2. 1, 2. Skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Once you worked your 6 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. From here, you're going to start the next round by slipping your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and working an increase in there. That's your first increase. Second increase. Third increase. Fourth increase. Fifth increase, and my final one, increase number 6. Now once you worked your 6 increases, your stitch count should be 12. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Let's put the stitch marker back in place, and we are going to follow this on with an increase. And from here you're going to be repeating this combination all the way around to finish this round. So that's 1 single crochet followed on with an increase all the way till you get to this point here. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch, and a single crochet in the stitch after that. So here's your combination for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet. Repeat that all the way around. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. Let's start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2, 3. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat this combination all the way around to complete this round. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 30. Now we're going to be working this round and attaching some legs into it. So we're going to begin by working 6 single crochets. So there's my first single crochet. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Grab one of the legs, and you're going to be holding this. So this is the right way. So we're going to be holding the leg against this part of the body like this. So we're going to now work the next few stitches, which is 4 single crochets across the top of this leg and the stitches in one go. So slip your hook in the next stitch, which is first stitch on the leg, and guide it to go through the stitches on the body as well. So like this. And we're going to work 4 single crochets, joining the 2 things together. That's my first single crochet. Move on to the next stitch on the leg and the next stitch on the body as well. Here's my second single crochet. Third, and my final one, number 4. Let's move this tail end out of the way, work the single crochet, and then move it at the back like this. Now we're going to work 11 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Let's grab the second leg. Now when you're joining this, you need to make sure that the foot part is facing the right way. So we don't want to attach one leg front, one leg back. So make your face the right way. And connect these 2 with 4 single crochets again. So slip your hook in the first stitch here, guide it to go through the next stitch on the body, Work your first single crochet, move the tail out of the way. Here's the second one. Third. And my fourth one right here. And now from here you should have 5 stitches left, and you're going to work 5 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and final one, number 5. Stitch count is still 30. Let's take the stitch marker off. We're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 30 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to work another round of single crochets. So follow the same instructions 2 times to have 2 rounds of just single crochets. Go ahead and do that and meet me back here. After 2 rounds of single crochet, stitch count should still be 30. Now we're going to work the next round only in the back loops. So if I bring these stitches close, you can see there are 2 strands that are making each of these stitches. So you're going to just be catching the back of it. So slip your hook in the middle and isolate just the back loop. Pull up a loop and work a single crochet there. Each time, slip your hook in the back loop, work the next stitch. That's the third one. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. And just like this, you're going to work all the way around. So let's go ahead and do this round together. And there we go. Now that's the last stitch. All of them worked in back loop only. Moving on to the next round, we're going to be working 3 single crochets in a row, but this time we're going to catch the full stitch. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with a decrease. So slip your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Do the same with the stitch after that, pull up a loop. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. Let's go ahead and repeat this combination all the way around and finish this round. That's 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. Now we're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in the first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with a single crochet in every single one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 24 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method one more time to have 2 rounds of single crochets. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 24. We're now going to start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. And follow this on with a decrease. There we go. And here's your combination for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with a decrease. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. Let's start the next round with a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. And follow this on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 18 single crochets in a row. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should still be 18. We're now going to attach some arms into the body, and to do this, you're going to begin by working 4 single crochets in a row. Here's my first, second, stitch marker back in place, third, and fourth. Now I'm going to grab one of the arms and going to attach that just the same way as we did with the legs. So for this, we're going to grab the arm, but we need to make sure that if I show you this, it looks a bit like a stocking. So it's got a little pointy bit on this side, and then the straight bit up here. So we need to make sure we don't attach the arm facing backwards. We need to attach it so it's facing the front, just the same as the leg. So hold the top part of the stitches across the top where the body is, and we're going to work the next 4 stitches through the arm and the body. Slip your hook into the first stitch, make it go through the stitch on the body as well. Work your first single crochet, slip your hook in the next stitch, get it to go through the next stitch on the body as well. Third one, and the final one. So once you worked your 4 single crochets across, the first arm is attached. From here you're going to work 5 single crochets in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let's grab the second arm, again making sure it's attached like this instead of the other way around. Now slip your hook in the next stitch, get it to go through the stitch on the body as well. That's 1, 2, 3, and here's the 4th one. Move this out of the way, and we should have 1 stitch left on the body, which we are going to fill with a single crochet. Now the stitch count is still 18. From here you're going to work decreases in all of these stitches. So we're going to start off by pulling up a loop from the first stitch and do the same with the stitch after that. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. So that's my first decrease of this round. I'm going to be working 9 of those all together. So here's my second decrease, third decrease, 4th decrease, 5th decrease, 6th, 7th, 8th, and my final one, decrease number 9. Now this brings your stitch count to 9. From here you're going to work a slip stitch in the next stitch to finish off with this color. Let's do that. And let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. We're now going to attach the purple color that's of the main body onto the top. So let's grab the color and attach it on any of these stitches. I'm going to randomly slip my hook in any of the stitches, pull this thread through like this as a loop, and hold on to the tail end and work chain 1. Pull this down and go back into that same stitch to work a single crochet. Now in this round you're going to be working single crochets all the way around. So in total you're going to work 9 of those. So here's my second, third, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and my final one, number 9, right here. And this brings your round to the end. From here you're going to start off by working increases. So we are going to continue. So this was the neck area. We're going to start working on the head now. At this point, I would suggest for you to fill this body up with fiber fill all the way to the bottom, and then continue working the next few rounds. I'll show you what to do. Slip your hook in the next stitch, and we're going to start working in spiral again. So there's my first single crochet, put the stitch marker back in place, going back into that same stitch to work another single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets in the same place. So for this round, you're going to work 9 increases all the way to here. So go ahead and work that, fill this body up with fiber fill, and then meet me back here. I've now stuffed this body up with fiber fill and worked my 9 increases. So the stitch count is 18. We're now going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch and a single crochet in the stitch after that. And here's your combination for this round. Single crochet, increase, single crochet. Repeat that combination all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count is 24. Let's start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3. Stitch marker back in place, follow on with an increase. And we're going to be using this combination and repeating it all the way around to finish this round. So that's 3 single crochets followed on with an increase, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 30. Now we're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 30 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 5 more times to have 6 rounds of single crochet altogether. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here. At the end of 6 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 30. Now we're going to start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, and 3. Stitch marker back in place. Follow these 3 single crochets on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your combination for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. Now we're going to take a moment and insert some security eyes into this head. And to do this, let's pull this stitch a little bit so we don't lose it. And let's grab the eyes. The eyes I'm using are 14mm in size, and I'm going to be inserting those, making sure that the feet and the arms are facing the right way. So we've got the front of the head facing us, and I'm going to use the shoulders as a guideline. So tracing it up and inserting the eyes 2 rounds below where we've just finished. So we are just here, so 2 rounds, and then insert this eye. This is on this side. Let's do the same thing on the other side as well. And before you put the backing on, make sure you're happy with the space, exactly where it is, and then you can put the backing on it like this. Now we're going to continue working on our stitches, and for this let's go ahead and begin by working 2 single crochets in a row now. Stitch marker back in place. Follow these 2 single crochets on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. And here's yours repeat for this round. 2 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. Let's start the next round by working 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease. Put the stitch marker back in place and repeat this combination all the way around to finish this round. Now as you can see, the gap between the stitches is decreasing with every round. Make sure to stuff this head with some fiber fill, finish that round, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 12. We're now going to work our final round to close this gap off, so make sure the head is full with fiber fill. We're going to be working 6 decreases in a row. So there's my first decrease. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. Second. Third. Once you finish working your 6 decreases, this is what your stitches should look like. So there will still be a gap between your stitches. So from here you have 2 options. Either you are going to use your darning needle to stitch this gap off, or you can use your hook. So work 2 more decreases to make this gap even smaller. So that's my first decrease and my second decrease. And from here the gap is so small that I can work a slip stitch in the opposite direction from where we've finished, like this, to fasten off. Now I can go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place, and slip your hook from further away, make it come out from where we've just finished. Loop this yarn onto your hook and pull this into the head, like this. And there we go. That completes the body of this little bunny. Now onto the skirt, and for this we're going to grab our purple yarn and attach it on the stitches where we've just worked back loops only. So if I show you from here, there's a line that's running across the body all the way around. So we're going to simply attach this yarn onto one of the stitches there. So I'm going to isolate one single stitch, the line that's running like this, and I'm going to pull this through, give it a little knot in place. Now from here I'm going to slip my hook from further away, make it come out from that same stitch, loop this yarn onto your hook and pull this in like this. So if it goes in, that's fine, but if it comes out, you can go ahead and snip it off. So let's just slip that in. And there we go. Now from here you're going to take this same strand, slip your hook around that same stitch where you've just attached the new yarn, making sure that the legs we're facing, so the head is towards us and the legs are like this. From here you're going to pull up a loop and chain 1, going back into that same stitch to work your first single crochet. There we are, that's our first single crochet, and just like this I'm going to be working a single crochet around that the loop, front loops only, because we worked through the back loops and we can see the front loops right in the front. So we can actually keep catching the front loops only, these ones here, and work a round of single crochet. And just like this, go ahead and work your way all the way around and meet me back when you get to this point. I'm on my last stitch here. Let's work on that together. There we go. Now I've worked my way all the way around, and this is what your bunny would look like at this point. It looks like a little belt, and we're now going to make it into a dress. So to do this, you're going to start working in a spiral, slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round, and work 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So we are basically going to be working increases in every single one of these stitches all the way around. So that's my first increase. I am going to start using a stitch marker as well to identify the start of my round. So just like this, go ahead and work 2 single crochets in every single one of these stitches all the way around, and meet me back here. I'm on to my last stitch now and working my final increase. This would bring your stitch count to 60. From here you're going to take the stitch marker off, and let's continue working in a spiral, and we're going to be starting the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, Let's go ahead and put the stitch marker back in place. There it is. Follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 60 single crochets. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 2 more times to have 2 rounds of single crochet. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. After 2 rounds of single crochet, stitch count is still 60, and we are now finished with this dress, or the skirt part of the dress. We're going to now work a slip stitch in the next stitch like this, and let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, leaving a little bit of a tail so we can actually work these stitches into the bottom of the dress. So that completes this bunny's dress. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and here we go. You are now going to use a darning needle to sew this thread into the bottom stitches right here. I'll show you how to do that. Let's begin by threading your darning needle with this thread, and you're going to now go in a zigzag manner and make the thread go through a few stitches. Pull this in, but making sure it doesn't get too pulled because we don't want the stitches to start gathering. I tend to move further into the skirt instead of just doing it all in the bottom of the row. So once you've gone this way, you're going to go backwards like this, and then back again. By doing this, you secure the thread in really nice and well, and it doesn't come undone easily. Now that we've done that, I'm going to quickly take that and go further before I snip this yarn off. And I can now go ahead and snip it. And there we go, that's the skirt complete. Now onto the ears. I've already gone ahead and sewed one on. Let's do the next one together. So to show you where to position this, this is the center of the head. We've got round 1, round 2, and the ear is going to be stitched just after round 3, so between round 3 and 4. So we are going to position the ear, the top part of the ear, in the right place, making sure that it's actually going perfectly in line with the arm or the side profile. So once you've done that and you're happy with the positioning, you can either pin this down or you can just hold it with one hand while you sew it on. So I'm going to hold it in place, and as you can see, I am trying to line this part in line with the other ear as well, so that they are symmetrical. Now from here, you're going to catch one stitch on the head and one stitch on the ear and make it go through. Let's go through that same stitch one more time so that the connection is really nice and strong. Moving on to the next stitch, isolate one stitch on the head and go through the next stitch on the ear. Each time I tend to go through each stitch twice, so it's really nice and strong and connected well. Next stitch now on the head and then on the ear, and just like this, make your way all the way to the end. And on to the last stitch after this. There we go. So isolate one stitch on the head and go through the last stitch on the ear as well. Turn the ear on the side, or the head on the side, so we can secure the ear from this side as well. So still going through the same stitches again, but we're just going to catch it from the side profile. And create a loop with your thread. Slip your needle through the loop, and this should create a knot in place. So let's pull it down gently. And there we go. Once you've created a knot in place, you're going to slip your needle back inside the head, make it go through some fiber fill, come out from another side of the head, and then pull this out. And now I can go ahead and snip this yarn off. let's give the head a little squeeze so that the fibre fill gets distributed evenly everywhere. And there you go, the ears are now on. Moving on to the facial features. And for this, you're going to use some black double knit yarn. And let's go ahead and do the mouth and the nose first, and then we'll do the tiny little eyebrows as well. So to do the mouth and the nose, you're going to slip your needle from further away and guide it to come out from one round below the eye, just here. And it needs to be closer to one eye than the other. And the reason why we're doing this is because we are going to be making the nose this wide. So if I've left one stitch in between the eye and where we've come out from, we're going to do the same thing here as well, which is in this stitch. Going to insert the needle in that space now, and I'm going to make it come out from that side. And this is where we're going to embroider the nose. So I'm going to repeat that same process a few times until we have the desired size of the nose. And let's keep going. If you're using a plush yarn, it might be different. You might not have to go through the same stitch that many times, but because I'm using DK yarn, I'm going to keep going until I have the desired size. And now I have the desired size. Each time when you go through the stitches, make sure that the strands are sitting side by side instead of overlapping. Now this is done, I'm going to slip my needle right in the center of the nose, like this, and make it come out from the bottom, but keeping it straight, like so. And from here, you're going to slip your needle back in the center, and this time guide it to go through some fibre fill and come out from where we started, which is right here. Pull it out and pull this down, and that creates the nose and the mouth of this little bunny. So from here, you're going to take these two strands and tie a knot between them. I'm going to snip this other strand off first. I always do a double knot. Now you can either use your darning needle, slip this back into that same stitch, make it go through some fibre fill and come out from another side, or you could use a hook, which I will show you both methods. So that's the darning needle. When it comes out from another side, you're going to go ahead and snip this off. And for the hook method, you're going to take your hook, slip it from further away, make it come out from that same stitch. Make sure that is the same stitch. Yes, it is. Loop that yarn onto your hook and pull this in. You can either take it all in or you can take it out from another side. So I'm going to make this shorter so I can actually leave it in the head like this. And pull your hook out. And that's the nose and the mouth of this bunny done. Moving on to the eyebrows. And for this, let's use our black double knit yarn again. Now, to be able to do this, I tend to use some pins. So I'm going to grab 2 pins and use them to find out exactly where I would like the eyebrows to be. So you need the starting point and the ending point, like this. And let's do the same on the other side to keep them both symmetrical. Good thing about the pins is that you can always take it out and adjust it until it's perfect. Now I feel they are perfectly positioned. I'm going to now take my needle, put it in from further away, make it come out from the head of this needle, and insert it again in the tail of this needle. So just where the tail is. So if I pull this, you can see it's in the same place. I'm going to do that same, so make it go through some fibre fill and come out from the other side where the other tail of this needle is coming out from to make the second eyebrow. Insert it where the head of the needle is, right here. Guide it to go through some fibre fill and come out from the starting point again. Now I can go ahead and take the pins out. And let's pull on this. And there we go, those are the eyebrows done. Now I'm happy with the positioning of the eyebrows. And let's go ahead and snip this yarn down to a smaller size and tie a knot between the two components, two strands. And once we've done that, we are going to slip our needle back in that same stitch, get it to go through some fibre fill, come out from another side of the head and pull this in. And once it's done, you can go ahead and snip this off. You can either use a darning needle or a hook for the second one as well. I'm going to use a hook because that's a small strand. Make it come out from that same stitch, loop it onto the hook and pull this into the head. And there we go. Give everything a little squeeze. And here's the bunny rabbit with a little pretty dress ready. Now onto the accessories for this bunny. Now onto the bow for this little bunny, and we're going to make that in the same color as the dress. So I'm going to start off by working a slip knot. And we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. From here, we're going to be working our stitches in the first chain, which we made initially. So we're going to work 3 treble crochets. To do this, you're going to yarn over your hook twice, slip your hook in the first stitch or first chain stitch that you made, pull up a loop from there. You'll have 4 strands on your hook, yarn over, pull through first 2, yarn over, pull through next 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2. That's 1 treble crochet. We're going to be making 2 more. Let's do that together. Yarn over twice onto your hook, slip your hook in the first chain. This all of it will happen in the first chain. Pull up a loop from there, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through first 2, yarn over, pull through next 2, yarn over, pull through last 2. Let's do this one more time. Yarn over twice, back in that same chain stitch we go, pull up a loop, 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through first 2, yarn over, pull through next 2, yarn over, pull through last 2. From here I'm going to chain 3 and back in that same chain stitch we go and work a slip stitch. Pull up a loop from there, make it go through the loop that was already on your hook like this. Pull on this bit of yarn to tighten the slip stitch, and we have got one side off our bow. We're going to follow the same instructions on the other side. So starting off with chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 treble crochets in the first chain that we did. So yarn over twice, slip your hook in the first chain, pull up a loop, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through first 2, yarn over, pull through next 2, yarn over, pull through last 2. Let's do that twice more, everything in that same chain stitch. And once you have your 3 treble crochets, you're going to chain 3 back into that same chain stitch, pull up a loop, and make this into a slip stitch by making the loop go through the loop that was already on your hook. Now that I've done this, I'm going to go ahead, grab my scissors and snip this yarn off, pull this out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. And there we go, that's our bow complete. We can now go ahead and attach that onto our bunny. So let's get our bunny. We're going to use these strands to sew this onto the head. I'm going to be putting this on this side of the head. So let's thread our darning needle with this and hold it in the right place where you would like to stitch this. And you're going to slip the needle into the head right at the edge of the ear or wherever you would like to insert this or stitch this. And you're going to take it out from another side. So I've left 2 stitches in between. And we're going to untangle that a little bit, and we're going to repeat that process a few times until this is nice and secure. So going through the same stitches a few times. Pull it down nice and tight. Let's do it one more time. So the same space again. And once it comes out, you're going to take the other strand and tie them both into a knot. When you're doing this, do it on one side instead of having the knot in the middle. So I'm going to make sure that the knot is sitting on the side like this. Give it a double knot. Grab your hook and pull those two strands into the head. I've got the hook, slip it in from further away. Make it come out from that same stitch that you've just worked your stitched this bow on. Loop these bits of yarn onto your hook and pull it in to the head. You might have to do it one at a time if it's too hard. And once it comes out, you can either repeat the process so the whole thing is worked into the head, or you can just snip it off from there. Both are totally fine. So I'm going to repeat the process one more time just so I can do the other strand as well. And there we go. Now we're going to turn this the right way. And that's the bow of this bunny complete. And that completes your bunny rabbit. If you enjoyed making this bunny with me, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.